Hello, everybody's.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
How's
We have
everybody
some dogs.
doing?
Maybe we have some dogs today. One show, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. So we have a guy from France. Salut, François. It's me. And hello, Damien.
Bonjour.
Yeah, it's Bastille Day today. So it's national
So is
place for us.
everybody on vacation?
Everybody is on vacation. It's midnight, so yeah. Hey, dude, Jonathan. So, hello, Jeanette. Hello, Chase.
Hello, Damien.
Bonjour, Damien. Today we'll be live. So we're live. We're talking about the Chase tank today and aquascape. How would you say it?
Yep.
Freshwater aquascaping.
Freshwater aquascape. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, we use
Hey, Chase.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah. What's up?
I want to know what you thought. What were your first impressions when you got that tank?
When I got the tank, I was ecstatic. Honestly, I've never had a tank like that before. So it was.
So what's so different about
excited. It? My first impression of the tank was wow. Yeah, exactly. There it is, right there. I mean, when you can have plants floating on a table, it's really nice. When they don't even see the tank and they just see the substrate and the plants, it's really nice. Like, why is that light there with the? Oh, there's a tank there. Oh, okay, I see the tank now. You got to get a little closer to see the tank. So, it was amazing. Actually, it's one of the best tanks I've ever had for the size. It's only a 6.5 gallon tank, and it's still the centerpiece in my living room right now. So,
wow, that's exciting.
There's a lot to say about something like that. Especially when it comes to the tanks that I've had. I mean, it's an amazing tank. Absolutely amazing. I can't wait to get the big tank.
Hey, everybody's hello. I show the people it's coming. Hello, everybody's maybe
Jonathan.
Some Bastille Day, Fête Nationale, and 14 July. Last time was 4 July, so it's a festival for everybody's. So yeah, this tank was a crazy clear tank, and
it was. And one of the coolest things about this thing, it's one of the smallest tanks that I've ever done as far as aquascaping. When I do aquascaping, I'm used to a lot bigger tank. And the thing I like about the smaller tanks is I don't have to use filtration on these tanks because I can just do a water change every few days. I can just with the displacement in a 6.5 gallon tank, I can take out 2 gallons of water, 2.5 gallons of water, and I've already done a 50% water change. So I don't need to use filtration. Flow is I can just put an air stone in the tank and I can have enough flow to break the water surface tension and create gas exchange when I need to, especially at night, when the carbon or the CO2 builds up and stuff at night. I can just turn on my air stone and go from there. But that's one of the most wonderful things about a tank this size is not having to hook up a whole bunch of pipes and everything else that goes along with a tank that you need to have filtration on. Now, not saying that I won't put filtration on this tank. I do want to put a small media canister on here just to have.
Yeah, maybe you can just have just a kind of, angle.
Exactly. I love the Aqua Clear. That's one of my favorite filters ever. We use those all the time.
Just using on the night and the day you just put on or just clean up. It's what we used at the last show. So
exactly, and it just helps to clean it up, get the stuff off the surface, and keep the scum out of the water and the stuff that floats up. Like right now, I'm looking at my tank and all I'm seeing is little oxygen bubbles coming up from my from my plants. It's wonderful. I wish I could show you a picture. I wish I could.
Yeah, you can. All right, look at.
Oh, there you go. Exactly. Yes.
You can show me the picture. So I see your new lamps.
My new lamp. Yes, I had to go get that lamp today. I still have to get with Kurt about how to figure out the ELOS light.
I just asking for the an update on the app for the light and for your phone, so you can control the light directly with your phone.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Asking Nicolas if he can send me app and the PDK. So yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah,
Beautiful.
people
For now,
coming.
for now, it's just a in the LED grow light that I got from Home Depot that I just rigged up over
Yeah,
top the tank. I know they work because we use them on a refugium. They have the color spectrum. Not that that's the most important thing, and we can go into par and spectrum and per and all that stuff later on if we need to. But I know they work. I've used them over planted tanks before, especially with a nano system like this. They put off enough light. They put off the correct the spectrum that I need. So we'll see what happens.
yeah,
But
but you see, I have some kind of picture there. It's the same tank and a very small light we can use
yes,
for.
absolutely.
So yeah, we can use the very small light and the very specific light for the kind of thing. So
I love this tank.
and this is almost the same size or maybe a little bit bigger with the Stella. That's the same as UI. Just hang out. See, we can have something for the light, but yeah.
Beautiful.
Could be in very, very interesting light. So explain a little bit what you do for the videos. And I don't know if people was at the video show and in YouTube, and see if maybe can put the link somewhere or maybe show the video somewhere.
Basically, all I did was a basic setup. I made it as simple as I could because it's an easy tank to set up. The simplicity behind this system is just what all hobbyists need to start off with. It's one of my favorite things to do is just show the simplicity behind a planted tank. And all I did was I put the larger granules at the bottom to create a base. The good thing about this substrate and what I appreciate about this substrate is that it's soft. It has you can actually take the substrate between your fingers and you can smush it and create a dirt. So it is an actual soil, unlike some substrates where you have this hard granules and they can cut up the roots and they don't break down like I like substrate to break down. I like substrate to break down. It becomes a more natural environment. When you go to a river or a stream or a bank, it's mud. It's not, granules, hard little granules of stuff that these plants grow in. And that's what I love about this substrate, that it will eventually start to break down slowly over time with the proper nutrients and the proper fertilizers in the soil. It breaks down, the roots collect the nutrients. And when I put the larger granules at the bottom, what I was basically doing was allowing a place for the roots and the structure of the roots to grow through without creating an anaerobic environment. I don't want too much oxygen. I don't want to have a whole bunch of areas for bacterial growth that could destroy the roots. But that's the good thing about the soil. It slowly starts to break down. So I use the smaller granules, the 1 to 3 millimeter, I believe, on the top surface where my roots are going to have a good chance to grow. They're going to be able to get down into the larger substrate and be able to flourish more. And in that time, they're not going to get into an anaerobic environment, so on and so forth. The plants that I use, like the Monte Carlo, which I'm sure any planted hobbyist knows is like the biggest carpeting plant. As you see in the front there, the Monte Carlo, yep.
Yeah.
They're one of the biggest carpeting plants that hobbyists use to fill up an area in the foreground and all over the tank. And in the background, I just kept it simple. I just put some narrow leaf plants in the back. I put in some of the tiger lotus that's eventually going to come up to the surface, create a little shade over the area that I didn't put the Monte Carlo in. So the Monte Carlo is going to get a bunch of light. And when the lotus comes up, when the narrow leaf comes up, it's going to collect all the light that it needs. And I just kept it simple. The dragon rock is an awesome rock. It looks great. The texture of the rock. I didn't have any method in mind. I just put the rock in. I put the substrate down. I wanted to get a tank started in my living room. And the thing that caught my attention, and I'll go back to what I was just talking about in a second, was adding the Prodibio. Now I know I added the Bacter soil to the tank. And that started, yes, the Bacter Kit soil, I added that to the tank right away when I started the system. And within a day, 2 days, I had a bacterial bloom. You don't see that. That's awesome. I saw a bacterial bloom. That means that my bacteria was active. That's awesome. So I knew it was doing its job. The tank stayed cloudy for, now when I say cloudy, I don't mean disgustingly cloudy. I mean the tank had a little cloudy look to it. And I knew it was a bacterial bloom. It's already gone now. You've seen the pictures. And I know my tank is healthy. I know the bacteria is there. I know that I have everything needed to run the system without filtration, without external filtration. The tank is taking care of itself. It's a natural system, like ADA or Amano. He does the nature systems and natural systems. It's taking care of itself, which is really well, with just some water changes, feeding the bacteria, some nutrients. Yeah, it's really simple, especially with the ELOS lineup. The whole advanced formula makes it so easy. All I have to do is, and that's it. And
That
wonderful.
kind of product, and the push
Yes.
the push button, you have one drop, and we talk about that a little bit later. I think I will try to share my screen about the YouTube videos. Let's see. Yeah. So you can see the drawing. You can comment if you want. So we are online.
Yeah.
That's what you do, and you put the dragon stone here and the soil here, and yeah.
Oh, this is my video. Oh, that looks great. I'm sorry, I thought that was somebody else. I thought that was a professional. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're guys. Yeah. So yeah, explain a little bit what you do and why you do that with the
Sure. So basically, all I was doing, the first thing I did was I put in my the larger granules on the bottom. I wanted to build up a base, and right now I'm just cleaning it up. I want to make it a little bit more presentable for when I start to plant. Things always move around in a planted system. I'm not that advanced yet. I'm not Amano. I'm not the Green Machine. I'm not these guys, but I was showing the simplicity behind how easy it is. And as you can see, it's just a matter of a brush, building up a base, putting in my hardscape, creating something that I want to see, create what anybody wants to see, create what they want to see, what you want to see. It's that simple. What I was doing was building it up. I want to create a foreground and a background. So it's kind of like a hill. If you were to look at a natural environment, you would see the mountains. And if you were looking at the mountain, you would see a hill start to come down. You would look up at the mountains, at the rocks. And that's what I was trying to create, a natural environment. The dragon rock, what that does is it creates a lot of depth. With the holes in the rock, it creates shadows. It creates depth, essentially. And here, when I'm putting the water in, I'm just trying to make sure that I have a place to put my plants in. It's really hard to plant in dry soil. So I'm just building it up and making sure that the plants stay in place, which is still hard with the Monte Carlo. And anybody who's planted it knows that. Unless they're using sand, the finer the substrate, I will admit it, the finer the substrate, the easier it is to keep the smaller plants in place. That is a fact. I don't like sand. That's just my opinion, unless I'm doing a
what do you see? You said you don't want any white sand on everything. So
I have sand in my reef tanks. I like sand in aquascape tanks. That's fine in planted tanks. If you're trying to create an artistic thing, I don't do the artistic plants or the artistic tanks. I like the natural tanks. I like things to look natural. It's hard to find sand underneath of a mountain with plants. You know, the sand is on the coast. You don't see sand in mountains and plants. Anyway, the trees, the wood. I was trying to create height with that. It didn't work out. I don't think I'm going to keep them in there. I like the idea of keeping the lotus, the tiger lotus instead of the tree. I do have a tree in there now. I'm going to let the tiger lotus be my height in my tank.
Yeah.
And other tanks, I have taken the rock out, but out of the tank. But here you go. Here I am. I'm just setting the plants in, and
yeah, it was not so easy to work on the plant. And I see a lot of aquascaper on the show and everything. So I see the difference between you and some of the different one, but it was more, you are more advanced than me. So that was very perfect because I'm very bad in aquascaping. I know everything about how to do. I know all the theory, but in practical, I'm not the good guy. So yeah, it was very interesting to see how you make it. I little move and arrange the videos so to be more like fast forward. So
right,
because you give me something like 30 minutes, 35 minutes, a little bit short, these things. But I, Richard, come on and thank you coming with us today. It's a freshwater side, but you're glad to come. So, the most interest, you're talking about the sand and how you don't like the sand, but you like the soil. In my opinion, all the people and all the Japanese guys and all the European aquascaper are talking with, so here we go. You go faster. So every guys I saw, and I saw Janice laughing also. Is that crazy?
Well, the thing I like about the soil the most is how soft the soil is. I mean, I know that sounds kind of weird when I say how soft the soil is, because
no, it's not. It's not, because you need to be soft, but also hard. And you sent me some picture in private, and you said we have dusty and everything. So I want a little bit explain about that. So
Sure.
if you take the soil on your hand and you try to crush it, it will be smooth, but not really like dusty already. No. So yeah, every time if you move the sand and at the back, for sure you will have some dust and trouble and inside the water, but it will be clean in few minutes.
Within minutes. Yes, yeah. It absolutely clears up the good thing about the substrate and from the research that I've done is that it's 100%. They've acquired the substrate from basically from a natural environment. So it's not like you're grabbing a sand or you're taking a rock and you're pulverizing it to a point where you're creating a substrate. It's a substrate that's taken and made into, it's formed into these little chunks. It's not crushed into these little chunks. It's a natural dirt substrate that's rolled around and turned into these little balls, which is amazing because it breaks down naturally. Everything in nature breaks down. So I want a soil that's going to break down. I need a soil that's going to break down. When you look at the depth of planted tanks, when you look at the very bottom layer of the tank, it's dust, it's mud, it's muck. And when you tear those tanks up, it's just silt that you can pick up and it'll slide between your fingers. And then that's what's important. It needs to break down. It needs to take its natural course. And what I like most about the soil is that I don't have to worry about, me and you, we spoke about this, the general hardness and the alkalinity of the water. The soil is going to absorb the salts and minerals in the water, and it's going to take it down to almost zero, the general hardness. I love that. And the reason why is because I can adjust it. You can't take away, but you can always add. If I want to bring up my general hardness, I can add more stuff and bring up my general hardness. Not that I need to too much, but I can if I need to. I don't have to worry about reducing my general hardness. This substrate already does that for me. So it creates a more natural environment automatically. It's not something I have to mess with. If I need to, I can add more minerals. I can add more calcium and more magnesium ions to the water to make it more hard and so on and so forth. This already breaks it down for me. That's a wonderful thing. And that's what should happen. So when I replenish my system with well water, and I know my well water has a general hardness of 11, I know my well water, if I'm not supplementing, is going to drop down to the tank's water. Once I add the well water, is going to drop down to 4, 3, 4, where I need it to be. I know the substrate is going to do what it needs to do. Now, over time, that might be different. Once I accumulate the minerals and the salts and things that I need, no, see?
No. I
don't need to worry about it.
No, yeah, that's exactly what I told you. Be careful and don't put too much of the air water because of this fact of the soil. And I think you have almost 1 year before you need to take care of that.
That's it. 1 year.
1 year. Maybe you change the tank and make another one.
A bigger one.
Yeah, and I talk a little bit with my Japanese distributors, Okabe-san, and Felipe Oliveira too. Maybe you know Felipe, Portuguese and famous tree man.
Yes.
And he said after 18 months, you don't need any filter. You can use the sand like a deep sand bed. You know.
Yes.
That's the best part. So
So when you can take away the outside, when you can take away something that is so painful for some people, like the filtration. Some people don't want to have to worry about filtration. When you can remove an entire aspect of taking care of a system, who wouldn't want to do that? I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing.
We have also Alberto, the new Spain distributor for ELOS, so coming back and say hello. We don't know them. Maybe I met the guy before, but I'm American now, so I'm not black here, but for the moment I stay in America. So yeah, that's the best part. So about the soil and use. I have some black here, so
Is that the 1.3, the 1 to 3?
this one is defined. Maybe you can see the difference.
Yes. Yep.
This is defined. Do you have each of them? No, I think.
Yes. The fine is what I put on top. The larger grain.
I don't know. This is the larger.
Yes, that's what I use for the bottom substrate, the bottom portion. Now, some people will argue with me on that. Some people will say that method it's reverse. Some people say you should always put the larger on top because you create air between the substrate. You put oxygen between oxygen between the substrate, and you can potentially create an anaerobic environment. But from what I understand and from watching tons of videos and 7 years of experience, I have never had a problem with creating an anaerobic environment, especially when you use substrates such as this. I mean, it starts to break down. It gives the roots a place to grow, and the nutrients can flow between the roots and the soil a lot easier, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe something. I found a picture about what we already use, and you can see exactly here two different sizes. The Terra Zero, the first product, maybe. Oh, I have one box here. I will show you. The Aquarium, the bacteria, and the big one is the bottom minerals. It's the first. You can use it's one bag for, let me see, about 10-20 gallons, more than 25 gallons maybe, one bags, and then the Terra. So and I found the picture. I don't know if I have the picture yet in my system.
Were the white pills, the white pill looking things, are those a nutrient supplement? Are those what you insert into the soil, or do you pop those open and
it's more like the Bacter Kit soil.
Okay.
It's more Aquauno. It's like bacteria. I don't know if I have some here, but it's caps. It's cellulose cap. I don't know if we can say that.
They break down in the water.
Yeah, exactly. And you put on the sand, and it puts some enzyme and bacteria directly on the sand. It's almost the same product as the
Yes, the Bacter Kit soil.
Maybe Janet have some questions about the sand. Or
I have some questions. Do you have an end goal, Chase?
For this tank, my end goal is always a bigger tank.
No. What do you want to put in this tank? I'm sure you're not.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is just going to be shrimp. I'm just going to do shrimp with this tank, and the reason I want to do shrimp is because of digging into Prodibio. I want to be able to put shrimp in the tank. Prodibio has an amazing lineup for the shrimp tanks, so I want to try it. I want to utilize it. We got what's his name, the shrimp guy. Anyways, I want to get some shrimp, put them in the tank. I want to see how they do. A few different kinds I want to try, but that's my end goal for this tank is just get the foreground, get the Monte Carlo spread out, get the Lotus up to the top of the water. And that's it. And then get some shrimp in there. I'll put the shrimp in probably in a couple of weeks after I make sure that the system is proper and everything is growing, that I don't have to put filtration on the system. Then I'll start putting the shrimp in.
Francois, ELOS has some interesting foods that you could use for shrimp, right?
Yes, exact. We have a kind of pellets you can use for the shrimps, and I think we have some kind of spirulina, and also a bottom one go direct on the bottom for the shrimp. So yeah, we have food we have food anyway for everybody's in the tank. But what kind of shrimps do you want? The Amano one, crystal blue.
Yeah, I really want to do the Amano shrimp. I love the Amano shrimp. I've always been a fan of the Amano shrimp. I like the cherry shrimp. I can't remember the scientific name for the cherry shrimp.
I know the cherry shrimp.
there's a what is it, Jan?
Are those the Cardinias? The Neocardinia?
Yes.
Neocardinia, it's the Amano one.
Yeah, those are the Amano shrimp.
Yeah, the Amano shrimp.
The snowballs are the little tiny shrimp. They're like boop, that big. They're little tiny shrimp.
You know the thing is that the crystal red. You know the crystal red, the black, the white and red, and it was in 2008 in Tezu, something like that. The Japanese come in with a box and bottles of shrimps and put in the tank, and they sell it. Yeah, he sell it in the show for $2,000 each.
What?
Wow.
And he have 250 pieces, and he sold all. And the guy in line at the tank and the booth buying shrimps by $2,000 each at this time. It was crazy.
I need to sell a few more tanks before I can buy that. But yeah,
but now you can buy it for $5 to $10. But
at the last aquatic experience, though, there were shrimps that were $12,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
with no problem.
Yeah.
That just blows my mind. What is the guy's name? Joe's what?
Joe Theismann?
No, is that the guy that owns the shrimp cup? The guy that sells the shrimp?
Joe's Shrimp Shack.
Thank you.
Yeah,
yes, that guy. Yes, Joe. It is Joe Theismann. Okay, yes, I would love to get up with him. I've turned him on to quite a few people, so I hopefully he'll send me some shrimp if he's watching this video right now. Wink.
We also like it. So
we'll send it to him.
Let's switch a little bit. So answering question because we lose a lot of people.
Oh no!
But we're here, and maybe just move again about the soil. The soil is available on the website elosamerica.com and aquariumpartner.com. So we have a fresh guy. Everybody knows Shane. Hi Shane, how are you? We talk about shrimps, but freshwater shrimps. It's cleaning shrimps too. Very interesting. The soil. Do you use the little bit of the Regenera?
I have
not yet.
No, I have. I've used actually every single one of the elements, every single one of the advanced formulas. I've used them. I'm testing my phosphates, nitrates. I'm even testing the iron that you gave me, the iron test kit. I can't remember what else you gave me. I haven't tested in the.
You have some kind of issue with the hardness, but the total hardness. But I will fix that. And maybe it's if you use tap water for your tanks. No. No,
not well. It is tap water, but it's well water.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different. There's no chlorine. There's no chlorine, no fluorides, things that's high. My well water, the general hardness of my water is if you were to use one of our test kits is about 12. So it's kind of hard, which is good because when I used it with the soil, it dropped it down to where I needed it to be. But I did have to go back with some of the elements. I had to start to bring it back up because it did bring it down to like 0. And I did test. I always test with multiple test kits. Don't hate me.
I don't hate you. You're fired.
I always test with multiple test kits because I like to create a nice clean table for all the elements to sit on.
You're fired. Don't worry about that.
But yeah, the iron in my water is actually it's perfect for what I'm trying to do to keep the reds and LEDs, keeping the LEDs over my tank with the iron.
Yeah, and for the moment you don't use any LEDs, but maybe we need to talk about a little bit why we use the special iron chelated for irons.
Yes, and I am using LEDs though. That light you see is an LED.
It's an LED.
So is an LED. That's an LED grow light. Yes.
Okay, so you have some trouble with the iron if you don't use the good one. So
Absolutely.
it's why we use a special iron chelated based on our formula. This one, if I remember, it's one push for 9 gallons, something like that.
Eight,
Well,
8
let's explain a little better what the problem is.
That's
with
it. Okay, let's go.
Yes, absolutely.
Who explain? I
the
explain.
main-
You explain.
No, you. I'm asking the questions here.
Okay, okay, okay. So let's do it. So yeah, the problem with the LEDs and the iron is when you use the LEDs, is break the ion of the iron. So all the iron will be on your soil and will be not using by the plant and will be blocked by the soils and everything. So you lose all the effect of the iron. So I'm sure it's not that complicated, but you know
Okay,
the
so
LED break all the chain and the iron on the water. So after that you lose.
breaks the bonds and it makes the iron precipitate.
It
Exactly.
makes the iron unusable by the plant. The plant can't absorb the iron because it's broken down to a point where it sits on the substrate as opposed to being absorbed by the roots and the nutrients. It just sits. It doesn't get bonded with all the other nutrients like CO2 and nitrates that needs to get bonded with in order for it to be utilized by the plant. The LED breaks down the ion of iron, so it can't be utilized by the plant.
It's
basically.
why you need to use the special formula with iron chelated on your fertilizer. So you really need to check that when you use the other brand. You can use the ELOS or the Prodibio, all the Prodibio and the ELOS use the chelated iron, so we don't have any issue with the LEDs. But we make almost 2 or 3 years study to find the good proportion on the fertilizer and all the line. I think I have something like here. I can show you. Here, so all the line is here. So you have the 1 and the 2 is the nutriments, the nitrate and the phosphate. The 3 is the potassium. It's also nutriment. 4 is iron. 5 is micro and micro elements, and 6 is the regenera. You don't have on the picture the 6, but the 6 is using for people who use the low water like ROD water and all these kind of things with low nutriments. And as Chase said before, the soil will suck all the nutriment from the water. So it's why the GH and the KH is very low, and you need to put some salt, mineral salt inside. So it's the 6. The 6 is something you need or not. It's depend of your system. It's depend of your water. It's why you need to test with GH and KH very carefully. And the pH will be also increased and changed by that. But if you use CO2 or all this system and dioxide and all the kind of people, do you put your CO2 system on your tank?
I am waiting for the canisters. I'm waiting for my CO2 canisters to come.
Okay.
Then I will be, yes.
So I will show you more like this, and we can talk a little bit of the system. So you have the manometers here. It's like a piece of art. Everybody took his hand and know it's very heavy and a very piece of art. You can have a manometers if you need it, but in some kind you don't really need manometers because the pressure is always 1 bar. So you don't need to adjust the bar at the exit because it's always 1 bar. After, you can have the manometers to know if your bottle is full or empty. So that's the point. And you have all the counter bubbles and the diffuser in glass is blown by hand. So, and yeah, it kind of product, and you can find all this product on the website.
So I have a question. How did ELOS? Why did ELOS and how did ELOS come up with the substrate? What was their purpose?
But the purpose is to have this kind of soil everybody used in Japan. And we come with this soil because we can have two different way. We have the black one come from Japan and only in Japan, and you cannot find anywhere else. And you have also the brown. We can have the brown in Europe, in Dolomiti, in the special area in Italy. We can find also the brown with this special kind of, these kind of things. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Composition. It's a special composition for the soil.
Yeah, it's a special composition. But all this guy, 20 years ago when we grow with the ELOS product, we go. The first market for ELOS was Italy, but after that they go export, and when they export, they go in Germany, and now it's little bit changing with the Berlin and all this system, and German is very strong in marine, but they are also very, very strong in freshwater. It's the big competitors of Hollandaise and Japanese aquascape. And if you see all the big name in aquascaping was Oliver Nord, Joris, and all these guys was Germany. And I think in Europe, Germany is the #1 for aquascaping. So our business was in Europe, in my opinion, the #1 on aquascaping and in Europe is German guys. We have some guys like Philippe, my friends, and other kind of Dutch people, but almost they have a big culture of freshwater. And for ELOS, 90% of our business is freshwater in Germany.
So is that, and you know me, and I love freshwater, and almost 30% of the tanks that I maintain are freshwater. And I wish I could send you some pictures. I'm looking for them right now. Freshwater is something that's really starting to hit America right now, and it's starting to really become a thing with the cichlids and the discus and so on and so forth. Is that something that ELOS and Prodibio and everybody else wants to gear towards? Is freshwater?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Nicola, I am the reef guy of the team, but Nicola is a discus guy. So the first product we came was the pellet for discus, and that was the first product ever. So the first product ELOS made was for freshwater.
And how long ago was this?
The first day. It's 25 years ago.
25 years ago. That's what I wanted to hear. Absolutely.
Yeah, and the thing is, we've always have a big range of product for freshwater, and Prodibio now have also a big freshwater side. So for the soil, we have this soil since maybe 20 years now, and it was the same composition and the same product. So now we use the soil to compete with the Japanese ADA. It was ADA at this time.
ADA, yeah, absolutely. Everybody's afraid to say ADA when it's the top.
The competition was ADA, and ADA was very, very expensive in Europe compared to ELOS in Japan. It's kind of a balance, and the ELOS product was competing with ADA. Our competitor was ADA in Europe, so we always fighting with ADA on the aquascaping parts and show and everything. So yeah, I don't know, maybe I have some kind of picture I can show, but yeah, if you look at that, this is all the ELOS products. It's completely ADA picture made by Augusto, the friends of Samuele. He made a few things, and it was exactly the same tank, maybe it's shorter tank. So we can have also this one with sand, and Samuele made this one too. Samuele come at Aquatic Experience, and if you see a picture of our booth in the show in Napoli, it was like, yeah, we're competing with ADA. So we are in competition with ADA. So if people want the same result, you need to have the same product or a product
that's
very
better.
close to. If you can have a better product.
I really think that the market is starting to catch up with where ELOS and Prodibio have been, the market in the U.S.
Yeah.
So we already have the products. It's just putting them in the hands of the people and teaching them how to use it.
And that's one of the, like you said, putting them in the hands and teaching people how to use it. And that's one of the things I like the most about the soil is you don't have to really show people show the employees and tell the employees how to use it and how to sell it. Yeah, of course. But breaking it down for the person, the individual, should be really simple. It's not, there's not much you have to do with this soil. It's so simple. I mean, it's put it in the tank, make sure that it's, then that the bacteria is fed in the soil and let it go. I mean, it's a really simple soil to use, and it's better than half the soils that I've used. But the simplicity is the best part, and that's.
But, you know, in 25 years, I use a lot of soil. I use a lot of ELOS soil, but to try, I use also the GBL and the Denali, the Tropica. We used to sell a lot of soil for Tropica, the company. Before they come with more Asian product and are more, you know, now it's worldwide and you can buy from everywhere. And China it's the best part for buying products. So they made their own product, but a lot of product and people said, if you use the bad soil, you need to redo your tank every year. And you need to remade, put away everything and make a new one. That's not the good things. So that's why I love my product. And people say, you always push your product for sure.
When I first put that soil in my hands, and I've only once seen the ADA soil, and I hate bringing up ADA again, but I've only had that soil in my hand one time at a show, and I was like, man, I can never afford this kind of soil. It's such a nice soil. And then you gave me your soil, and then I put it in my tank and I held it in my hand, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the soil that I need in my systems, and I have it now and I can use it. And I want to be able to show people that it's an amazing soil. And
no, but it's amazing soil and also easy to use and very interesting for the long term.
Absolutely. The long-term use of the soil, when I don't have to sit there and break down a tank to restart like some people do. Some people love to redo a tank. They'll do a show tank and they'll break it down and they'll do another show tank, or they'll do a workshop with a tank that doesn't have the same soil in it. They'll use a different soil, and then they'll come to that soil that they don't want to change back out, and they'll keep the soil they have. So I think I'm going to keep this soil, my opinion.
Yeah, okay, so time to go for the questions. I don't know if we will have a lot of questions, but it will be question and answer parts if people want to have some question about. Hello, everybody. If you have some question, it's time.
Come on, questions. Got to be a bunch of questions. It's a planted tank. It has to be
I have a question myself. You find a lot of I need to go for a second, so please take care of the business.
So, Jan, what was the other soils that he mentioned? He said that we do have a black soil, or is that not available yet?
We do have a black, and I don't know if it's coming in our next shipment. We've got a shipment leaving probably the end of this month. As you know, just about everything in Europe shuts down for 3 weeks for holidays. So we're trying to get, we're going to have product out of the country and on its way here before then.
Awesome. Is there anything new coming in that I should know about as well? I mean, I'd love to let everybody else know too, if there's anything fun, anything new coming in, or no?
Do we have any new product coming, Francois?
I'm sorry, I was just need to go because it just a storm and my car was open and all the water inside. So I'm very sorry about that.
Just put some soil in the back seat and we'll start growing plants in your back seat now.
But okay. So new product. I think for the freshwater we have almost all the product. We have more product coming in.
We have more of the smaller tanks. We have the what's the heater?
The cable heater. This kind of things we can have a more product like CO2 system, We have a lot of fertilizer. We have a lot of soil. The soil is ready here. It's a new product. It's not a new product like
for the US. It's a new product.
But for the US, it's a new product because I saw some people on forum yesterday. I make some research and I see that the last people asking for the soil in US was in 2004.
That long ago?
Yeah, 16 years ago. And since then, we don't have the soil in stock. So the soil is in stock now, and the Prodibio will come with the soils too. So,
and as far as I know, there is no other soil like this aside from maybe Tropica, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, there's no other companies that actually use this type of soil, the way that this soil is manufactured in the US right now. From my research, there's 2, and I have never seen them in stores. Do you know?
I think I am not sure about, but the only soil you can find is the Tropica and the ADA, maybe. But
that's
I'm not sure about the ADA. Or you can find the same soil is, from my opinion, is ADA and Tropica.
And you're not going to find that in most stores, but we need to get this in stores right now.
Exactly. But after that, you can find cheaper soil. So that's okay. Dennerle and GBJ and maybe
I can go to sands on the banks on the river too. So.
Yeah. You can find soil on your backyard. So
I can go to Home Depot and get soil too. So yeah, but I'd rather have this, honestly.
But it will be not the same. So
no, and it won't clean up.
That's the news, the very news. The Stella is here too.
The Stella is here.
Yeah, you can.
Beautiful.
You can use it.
Oh, I will. As soon as Kurt gets me on the shows me how to do the thing. Yes, I will be using that light.
No, I know you maybe need. I try to have 2 acrylic stuff, but I think it's too long for your tank. So
gotcha.
Maybe we can make some or try to have some. Let's see what's going on with that. But the very new is come from Prodibio and all the products they came, because this product is been on the market since a year maybe. Last interview.
The US market.
Yeah, a US market. For the US market, the first is here.
The algae out, right?
The algae out, the BioVer, and all this kind of product, because first you have the BioTrace, the Bacter Kit Soil, the BioKit Reef Fresh, and the BioClean. The BioClean Fresh is a little bit different than the BioClean Salt, because this one is BioDigest and BioTrace, and the BioClean Salt is BioOptim and BioDigest. So
the larger kit has the all the bacteria. It has the elements to feed the bacteria, and it also has one other supplement. Correct?
Exact. Yeah, you have 20 BioVer, 10 BioTrace, and 10 BioDigest.
Okay. So, and the BioDigest helps break down the unusable nutrients in the water to feed the bacteria, not something that feeds the plants, correct?
Exactly.
Is that okay.
Bacteria. Yeah. It's not the BioDigest. The BioDigest is the bacteria. The BioTrace is the BioTrace.
Okay.
So, we mixed a little bit between the fresh and the reefing, but the kind is here, and so that's the best parts. So now I think we can switch a little bit with the Trivia Tuesday. I will just send
ask some questions.
I don't know if we have questions, but I see no question. So let's make so a little bit different and go for the Trivia Tuesday.
Chase gets to ask the questions today.
Pose the question. So this is the first question. Go ahead.
First question is, what was the name of the lotus that I put in my tank, that I put in the planet tank?
No. Read the question.
Just kidding. What is the name of the ELOS soil?
Nobody knows. So I put some things up. They want to see. So what's the name? Post your comments, Trivia Tuesday, and your answer, and you can win a pack of 5. So free to you for the people we answer.
I'm setting up a 30-gallon tank. Can I answer the question? I got a 30-gallon cube I'm setting up.
You have a new one? I can make you a good price. Come on in my shop, my friend. Come on. I make you a very good price.
I got to come set up a tank at the shop, dude. You got to let me come down there and set up a planted tank.
Yeah, and my landlord wants it, so we can.
Does he?
Yeah, he wants, and we can make it one and his office. So yeah.
I just did this for okay. Enough said. We'll talk about that later.
All right, so what's the second question? Move along here.
Moving on. Okay, the second question is this one. Don't worry about that. You're just.
Why do we need to add special iron with LEDs? Why do we need to add special iron with LEDs? That is a good question. And I hope people look this up. I really want people to research this. Please look this up. That is very important. I kid you not. And I looked this up probably a year ago when it came to me using specific iron supplements in planted aquariums. And I'll show you pictures that you can look at later, and I'll post them later on the YouTube, on the channel. When I figured this out, it was a game changer. It really made a difference in the iron that we used. And we had to outside source the iron. It was not hard to get. It was hard to get. It was not easy to obtain. So please check that out. Look that up. Google it. Figure out why it's necessary.
So you can answer, and we maybe choose a winner tomorrow with the answer and the question. So because right now I don't have that much of comments, so maybe people will replay and
Sure.
we can find.
Comments.
Yeah, go in the comments. Go on the YouTube channels and see what's going on. So you have some thing you want to add to the system, Janet?
When are we doing, Chase? When will you be doing another video on the tank?
Probably, and people probably don't realize this, but they don't actually happen like they do in the YouTube videos. You don't actually see the tank, and then 10 minutes later you see the full-grown tank. These tanks take months and months and months to grow. So I'll do a video every week, or I'll take video or pictures every week to show you the system.
You won't stand. You need to make video.
I will as soon as I'll take a picture actually of the leaves that once you plant, you shock the plants, and when you take the plants out and you put them in a new tank, you shock the plants. The plants essentially die for about 2 or 3 days. The plants are starting to come back now, and I have a picture of when I first planted the tank. 2 days after, when everything started to really yellow out and get shocked, and I have pictures now that I'm going to take of the plants, the leaves coming back, starting to get nice dark green, and I'm literally looking at my tank from over the computer right now and watching bubbles come up from the oxygen from the plants being produced.
Cool.
So,
now, when you do those, Chase, date stamp them so we can make like a chronology.
I didn't even think about that. I think I can do that on my phone. I think I have a new enough phone to do that with.
It's called an index card.
Oh yeah, just put a little card behind it. But yeah, the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm probably going to take out the wood in that tank, so you will see pictures of some of the hardscape will be different. There won't be any wood in the background. I don't like what it did. I don't like the way it's reacting without filtration.
This tank with the wood.
Oh my god! That's a lot of wood, bro.
This is the 1 gallon. It's less than 1 gallon. It's
not much.
It's 17 liters. So it's like 2 gallons, something like that.
Yeah, 1.2, 1.3 gallons.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That was a lot of wood.
Yeah, and this is the smallest tank of ELOS, so I was very interesting to choose that.
Outside, though.
That would be an awesome tank on somebody's desk. If they could, just right on the corner of a desk under a nice little lamp. I mean, That would
Yeah.
be an awesome.
Exactly. I put some kind of a picture. I tried today to find the picture of everything. So yeah. So
Yeah.
enjoy the live today. Maybe we make a new Trivia Tuesday in 2 weeks. Summer times, it's kind of people moving and COVID system. I hope you're always safe. Maybe we have a news for the website. I need to work with Kurt about that, but maybe we can have a new mask. I sure you like it.
I do. Where's mine?
Yours is on my back. So I have a lot for you. I have for everybody. So
beautiful. I love it. With the what is it, the fungia, the heliofungia on the front?
yeah, orange plate, fungi.
Yeah, beautiful.
I have like clownfish, rainbow acan, rainbow. I have 12 different designs. So
Sweet.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
That's almost 2 whole weeks worth of them.
Yeah, exact. So it's $9.99. I will find a way to put on the website on the web.
Wait,
maybe
that's $9.99, not $99.
no,
Yeah,
9.99.
9.99.
Right.
Maybe,
Not,
maybe you'll have to give one of those away next Trivia Tuesday. Maybe give one of those away.
oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the next product on the website. So you can go on AquariumPartner.com and you can find these kind of things. So maybe next time we talk about the V2O. What do you think?
Absolutely. I would love to talk about the V2O. That's something we haven't done yet. I have a lot of information I'd like to share. So
Yeah, we have some new videos of fish eating V2O, which should be really cool.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
I hope you got that wrasse tearing up that clam and a half shell. That was a really cool cool
very
experience.
cool.
And
So
we also posted one that's Moorish idols.
Oh, very nice. Finicky eater tearing it up. Awesome.
Very, very.
So thank you for watching. Please go to the YouTube channel. We need your help to grow the people and the audience, and we really need you subscribe to the channels so you can have all the description below. Please go. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everything. Thank you, Chase. Thank you, Janet, for coming. And see you next.
See you later, guys.
See you next.
Next time.